The night sky, when viewed from a quiet place on Earth, appears to be a portrait of stillness. We look up and the stars seem fixed like diamond pins stuck into a vast velvet canvas. The constellations, those ancient patterns drawn by human imagination connecting distant suns, remain seemingly unchanged over the span of a human life. The Great Bear, Orion, the Pleiades. They rise and set with the rhythm of the seasons, steadfast and reliable. This creates an illusion of permanence. It creates a feeling that we are anchored, that we are stationary, watching the universe turn around us. But this stillness is a deception of scale. It is a trick played on us by the brevity of our lives compared to the deep, slow breathing of the cosmos. In reality, nothing is still. There is no anchor. There is no fixed point in the void. We are adrift, we are moving, and we are not just wandering aimlessly, we are being carried. Tonight, let us peel back the layer of stillness. Let us close our eyes to the static image of the sky and open our minds to the flow. Imagine for a moment that you can feel the motion, not the spinning of the Earth or the orbit around the Sun, but something much deeper, something much older. To understand where we are, we must first understand that we are travelers. The ground beneath your feet feels solid, but it is riding a sphere of rock and iron, spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. That sphere is racing around a burning star at 67,000 miles an hour. And that star, our Sun, is not sitting idle. It is drifting through the interstellar clouds of the Orion Arm, one of the spiral structures of our galaxy, the Milky Way. The Sun drags the Earth and all the planets with it, bobbing up and down like a boat on a gentle swell as it circles the galactic center. It takes 230 million years to complete just one of these circles. The last time we were in this part of the galaxy, dinosaurs were just beginning to walk the Earth. The continents were shaped differently. The flowers had not yet bloomed. That is the scale of our galactic year. But even this grand rotation of the Milky Way is small compared to the true journey we are on. The galaxy itself is moving. The Milky Way, this island of 400 billion stars, this city of light that spans 100,000 light years, is flying through the dark. It is difficult to comprehend the sheer size of our own galaxy. If you were to travel at the speed of light, the speed so fast you could circle the Earth 7 times in a single second, it would still take you 100 millennia to cross the Milky Way. It is a vast, shimmering disk, a whirlpool of starlight, dust, and gravity. And yet, despite its immense size, it is just a speck. It is a single drop of water in a much larger ocean. For a long time, astronomers believed that galaxies were isolated islands. They thought the universe was just a scattering of these islands, drifting randomly in the dark, expanding away from each other as the universe grew. But the universe is not random. It has a structure. It has a geography. It has currents. We are not just floating in a void. We are caught in a current. We are flowing. Imagine a river so wide that the opposite bank is invisible. The water moves slowly, powerfully, carrying everything within it towards a destination. The Milky Way is like a leaf floating on this river. We are being pulled. We are being drawn by a force we cannot see, towards a place we are only just beginning to understand. This story, our story, is about that river. It is about discovering that our home, our galaxy, is not the lonely outpost we once thought it was. We are part of a structure so colossal that it defies the human capacity to visualize it. We are inside something much bigger. Let us begin by looking at the space immediately around us, the space between the stars. In the silence of the interstellar night, there is very little matter. The spaces between stars are vast deserts. If the Sun were a grain of sand in New York, the nearest star would be another grain of sand in Tokyo. Between them is emptiness. But gravity reaches across that emptiness. Gravity is the whisper that connects everything to everything else. It is gravity that binds the Earth to the Sun. It is gravity that binds the Sun to the Milky Way. And it is gravity that binds the Milky Way to its neighbors. We are not alone in our corner of the universe. We have companions. If you look into the constellation of Andromeda on a clear, dark night, you can see a faint smudge of light. It looks like a small cloud, a piece of the Milky Way that has broken off and drifted away. But it is not a cloud. It is another galaxy. This is Andromeda. It is our sister. It is a spiral galaxy much like our own, but larger. It contains perhaps 1 trillion stars. It is 2.5 million light-years away. The light you see from it tonight left those stars when humans were just beginning to use stone tools. It has traveled through the cold silence of intergalactic space for millions of years to reach your eye. Andromeda is not sitting still either. While most galaxies in the universe are rushing away from us as the fabric of space expands, Andromeda is different. It is rushing towards us. The Milky Way and Andromeda are falling. We are falling towards each other, drawn together by the mutual pull of our gravity. We are locked in a slow cosmic dance that has lasted for billions of years. We are moving towards each other at 250,000 miles per hour. This is the first level of the something bigger. We are not just a galaxy, we are a pair. We are the dominant members of a small family. This family is called the local group. It is a humble name for a collection of over 50 galaxies. Most of them are small dwarf galaxies, irregular clusters of stars that orbit the two giants, the Milky Way and Andromeda. There is the Triangulum galaxy, a smaller spiral that watches the dance of the two giants from a distance. There are the Magellanic Clouds, visible from the southern hemisphere of Earth, looking like torn pieces of a veil. These galaxies are all bound together. They are a village in the cosmos. They move together through the void. They interact. They trade stars. Sometimes the smaller ones are consumed by the larger ones. It is a dynamic, evolving system. But the local group is not stationary. The entire group, the Milky Way, Andromeda, and all the dwarf galaxies, is moving together. We are all drifting through the universe as a single unit. Where are we going? If you could step outside the local group, if you could travel millions of light years away and look back, you would see our entire family of galaxies as a single point of light. And you would see that this point of light is moving with great speed. It is being pulled towards something much larger than itself. We are heading towards the constellation of Virgo. This realization that our entire neighborhood is on a journey was one of the first clues that the universe has a hierarchy. It is like a set of nesting dolls. The Earth is inside the solar system. The solar system is inside the Milky Way. The Milky Way is inside the local group. And the local group is inside something else. We are entering a realm of scale that makes galaxies look like dust motes. We are entering the realm of clusters. As we drift deeper into this narrative, let your mind relax. Let the numbers and the distances wash over you like the sound of the ocean. You do not need to memorize the figures. You only need to feel the scale. You only need to feel the depth. We are moving. The chair you are sitting in, the room you are in, the planet you are resting on, all of it is sailing through the dark, caught in the gravitational current of a structure so vast it took humanity thousands of years to even realize it was there. We are just beginning to see the shoreline of the continent we inhabit. Let us continue our journey outward. We have left the familiarity of the Earth and the Sun. We have stepped beyond the spiral arms of the Milky Way. We have even drifted past our sister galaxy, Andromeda, and the collection of smaller galaxies that make up our local group. We are now floating in the deep intergalactic void. Here, the darkness is profound. The distance between galaxies is measured in millions of light years. A light year is the distance light travels in 1 year, about 6 trillion miles. We are talking about millions of these units. The mind struggles to hold such a concept. It is easier to think of it as time. To look across these distances is to look back into the deep past. From this vantage point, looking back at the local group, our home looks like a small, lonely cluster of lights huddled together against the cold. But if we turn around, if we look in the direction we are traveling, we see that we are not heading into emptiness. We are heading towards a wall of light. We are falling towards the Virgo cluster. The Virgo cluster is a bustling metropolis of galaxies. While our local group has perhaps 50 or 60 members, the Virgo cluster has thousands. It is a massive swarm of galaxies bound together by an immense gravitational field. There are giant elliptical galaxies, old and red, shaped like vast footballs of stars. There are spirals like ours, spinning in the dark. There are irregular galaxies, twisted and shaped by the gravity of their neighbors. This cluster is the downtown area of our local patch of the universe. It is crowded, it is chaotic, it is heavy. The mass of the Virgo cluster is a quadrillion times the mass of our Sun. That is a 1 followed by 15 zeros. Because it is so massive, its gravity is powerful. It reaches out across 50 million light-years of space and grabs hold of our local group. It pulls us. For a long time, astronomers thought this was the end of the story. They called this the local supercluster. The idea was that the Virgo cluster was the center, and we were just a suburb on the outskirts, slowly falling in towards the city center. We were the Virgo supercluster, a flattened collection of galaxy groups about 100 million light-years across. It is a beautiful image. A great disk of galaxies with the dense Virgo cluster at the heart, and our local group orbiting around the edge like a planet orbiting a star. It gave us a sense of place. We had an address: Earth, Solar System, Milky Way, Local Group, Virgo Supercluster. But as our telescopes became better, as we learned to see deeper into the dark and measure the movement of light more precisely, we noticed something strange. We noticed that the Virgo cluster, despite its immense size, was not stationary either. Imagine you are on a boat flowing down a river towards a large lake. You assume the lake is the destination. You assume the water stops there. But when you look closer, you realize the lake itself is moving, the lake is drifting, the lake is being pulled by something even further downstream. The Virgo cluster, and our local group along with it, and hundreds of other groups of galaxies, are all rushing together in the same direction. We are moving at roughly 600 kilometers per second. That represents a speed of over 1 million miles per hour. We are moving sideways. We are not just falling into Virgo. Virgo is falling towards something else. This creates a mystery. Gravity is the only force capable of moving things on this scale. To pull a structure as heavy as the Virgo cluster, to pull thousands of galaxies at such tremendous speeds, requires a source of gravity that is truly monstrous. It requires a concentration of mass that is almost impossible to imagine. Astronomers looked in the direction of our motion. They looked to see what was pulling us. They expected to see a massive object, a supercluster, a wall of galaxies. But when they looked, they saw nothing. Or rather, they couldn't see clearly. By a stroke of cosmic bad luck, the direction we are moving in is obscured. It lies directly behind the dense plane of our own Milky Way galaxy. When we look up at the night sky, we see the milky band of stars that gives our galaxy its name. This is the disk of our own home, viewed from the inside. It is thick with stars, but it is also thick with dust and gas. These clouds of interstellar dust act like a curtain. They block the light from the universe beyond. This region of the sky is called the zone of avoidance. It is a blind spot in our map of the cosmos. It covers about 20% of the sky. And, as fate would have it, the mysterious thing that is pulling us, the thing that is dragging the Virgo cluster and the Milky Way and Andromeda and millions of other galaxies, sits right in the middle of this blind spot. For decades, this was one of the greatest mysteries in astronomy. We could feel the tug. We could measure the speed. We knew we were moving, but we could not see what was moving us. It was like being in a car with fogged-up windows, feeling the acceleration, feeling the turn, but unable to see the road or the destination. We could only feel the motion. This invisible giant, this hidden summoner of galaxies, was given a name that sounds like something from a myth. It was called the Great Attractor. The name evokes a sense of ominous power, and rightly so. The Great Attractor is not a black hole, although it may contain many. It is not a single object. It is a region of space, a region that contains the mass of tens of thousands of galaxies. Slowly, over years of patient observation, astronomers began to find ways to peer through the dust of the Milky Way. They used radio waves and infrared light, which can pass through the dust clouds like X-rays passing through skin. They began to map the shadows behind the curtain, and what they found was a structure that redefined our understanding of the universe. We realized that the Virgo supercluster, our local supercluster, was not an island, it was just an arm. It was a branch of a much larger structure. Think of a leaf. If you look at a leaf closely, you see tiny veins. These veins feed into larger veins, and those larger veins feed into the central stem. The local group is a tiny vein. The Virgo cluster is a larger vein. But they are both feeding into a massive stem. We are part of a continuous flow of matter. This realization shifted our perspective from static objects to dynamic flows. In the past, we mapped the universe by simply plotting where galaxies were. A dot here, a dot there. It was a static map, like a map of cities on Earth. But a map of cities doesn't tell you how the traffic flows. It doesn't tell you where the trade routes are. It doesn't tell you where the rivers run. To understand the something bigger we are inside, astronomers began to map the flows. They measured the peculiar velocities of galaxies. This is the motion of a galaxy that is not caused by the expansion of the universe, but by gravity. If the universe were expanding smoothly, every galaxy would be moving away from every other galaxy at a predictable rate. It would be like dots on a balloon being inflated. But the galaxies are not moving smoothly. They are drifting. They are deviating from the expansion. By subtracting the expansion of the universe, astronomers revealed the true currents of the cosmos. They saw rivers of galaxies. They saw that the galaxies in our region of the universe are not just randomly scattered. They are streaming. They are flowing like water down a mountain. They are moving along invisible valleys of gravity, cascading towards the deepest basins. And the Great Attractor is one of those deep basins. It is a valley in the fabric of space-time, and we are sliding down the slope into it. But even the Great Attractor, with all its mystery and pull, turned out to be just another piece of the puzzle. Just as we thought the Virgo cluster was the center and then realized it was moving, we eventually discovered that the Great Attractor itself is being pulled. The Great Attractor is not the bottom of the well. It is just a ledge on a much longer descent. The scale continues to grow. The horizon continues to recede. Every time we think we have found the container, we realize it is just a box inside a bigger box. We are drifting through a universe of filaments and voids, a structure that looks less like a collection of balls and more like a biological network. It looks like neurons in a brain. It looks like the roots of a tree. And in this vast interconnected web, we have finally found a name for the specific branch we live on. We have defined the boundaries of our true home. It is not the Virgo supercluster. That is too small. We live in a structure that spans 500 million light-years. It contains 100,000 galaxies. It has the mass of 100 quadrillion suns. We call it Laniakea. But before we can fully understand Laniakea, we must understand the forces that shape it. We must look at the balance between the pull of the attractors and the push of the voids. We must understand that we are not just being pulled, we are being pushed. As we end this chapter of our journey, imagine the local group again, a small family of lights. We are falling towards Virgo. Virgo is falling towards the Great Attractor. And the Great Attractor is part of a flow that encompasses a volume of space so vast it takes light 500 million years to cross it. We are small, but we are connected to the largest things there are. The iron in your blood, the calcium in your bones, it is all riding this great river of gravity. We are passengers on a voyage that began billions of years ago, a voyage through the structure of the universe itself. In the next part of our story, we will dive into the heart of this mystery. We will explore what Laniakea really means. We will learn about the dipole repeller, the invisible pusher that works in tandem with the Great Attractor. And we will try to visualize the shape of this immeasurable heaven in which we live. Rest here for a moment. Let the motion settle. The stars above you are still there, silent and still. But now you know the truth. You know that behind the silence there is a great flowing. There is a river of worlds, and we are drifting upon it under the canopy of the eternal night. We have spoken of the river. We have spoken of the current that carries the Milky Way, the Andromeda Galaxy, and thousands of others through the dark. We have felt the pull of the Virgo cluster and the deeper, more ominous tug of the Great Attractor. But to truly understand where we are, to understand the something bigger that surrounds us, we must change the way we look at maps. On Earth, we define borders by land. We draw lines where the land ends and the ocean begins. We draw lines along mountain ranges and rivers. But in the universe, there is no land. There is no solid ground to mark the edge of one territory and the beginning of another. There is only the drift. So, how do you map a cloud? How do you define the boundaries of a storm? You map the wind. You map the direction the air is moving. In 2014, a team of astronomers decided to map the universe in this way. They stopped looking at where the galaxies were and started looking strictly at where they were going. They traced the peculiar velocities, the slides and drifts of thousands of galaxies, subtracting the expansion of the universe to reveal the hidden gravity beneath. What they found was a structure that redefined our place in the cosmos. Imagine a range of mountains on a rainy day. Rain falls on the peaks. The water that lands on the western slope flows down into one valley, feeding a stream that eventually leads to a specific ocean. The water that lands on the eastern slope, just a few inches away, flows down a different path into a different valley towards a different ocean. The ridge between them is the divide. It is the boundary. It is not a wall, it is a point of divergence. The universe is organized into these basins of attraction. It is a landscape of gravitational valleys and hills. And we found that the Great Attractor is the bottom of our valley. It is the downtown basin where all the streams of our region eventually pool. But we also found the edge. We found the ridgeline where the flow stops, where the galaxies turn their backs on us and flow the other way, towards a different attractor, far in the distance. By tracing these flows, by mapping the watershed of gravity, the astronomers were able to draw a line in the dark. They defined the boundaries of our true home. They named this supercluster Laniakea. The name comes from the Hawaiian language. It means immeasurable heaven. Lani means heaven or sky, and Akea means spacious or immeasurable. It is a fitting name for a structure of such terrifying grace. Laniakea is not just a group of galaxies, it is a web. It is a living, breathing network of light. It spans 520 million light-years. It contains 100,000 large galaxies, each one a city of billions of stars. And it has the mass of 100 quadrillion suns. We are just a speck within this immeasurable heaven. The Milky Way sits on the fringes, far from the center. We are out in the rural countryside of Laniakea. We are sliding along one of the long, tenuous filaments, a strand of the web that feeds into the center. Close your eyes and try to visualize it. It does not look like a ball. It looks like the roots of a tree or the neural pathways of a brain. It is made of filaments, long, thin bridges of galaxies that stretch across the void. These filaments are the highways of the universe. Galaxies move along them, guided by the unseen rails of dark matter flowing towards the nodes where the filaments intersect. The Virgo cluster, that massive swarm of galaxies we discussed earlier, is just a knot on one of these filaments. The Great Attractor is the central hub, the beating heart of Laniakea, where many filaments converge, and we are flowing towards it. For billions of years, the Milky Way has been sliding down the gravitational slope of Laniakea. We are surfing the filament. We are part of a river of light that is draining into the Great Attractor. But Laniakea is not the whole universe. It is just one basin. It is just one watershed. Beyond the ridgelines of our supercluster, there are others. There is the Perseus, Pisces supercluster, a neighboring giant flowing into its own center. There is the Coma supercluster. There is the Shapley supercluster. They are like neighboring continents on a planet we are only just beginning to survey. When we look at the computer simulations of Laniakea, we see beauty. We see fine, delicate strands of white light woven against the black. We see the density of the center, glowing with the combined light of thousands of galaxies. It looks organic. It looks alive. It tells us that the universe is not a scattered mess. It is connected. The gravity that holds you to your chair is the same force that binds the local group to Virgo, and Virgo to the Great Attractor, and the Great Attractor to the entirety of Laniakea. We are part of a system that is moving, evolving, and flowing. But a river needs more than just a destination. It needs a slope. Water does not flow just because there is a hole, it flows because there is gravity pulling it down. In the cosmos, gravity is the pull. The Great Attractor is pulling us. But recently, we discovered that there is another player in this game. There is something else happening in the dark. We are not just being pulled, we are being pushed. To understand the push, we must look away from the light. We must look away from the clusters, the filaments, and the walls of galaxies. We must look into the nothingness. The universe is mostly empty space, but some places are emptier than others. There are vast regions between the filaments of Laniakea where there are almost no galaxies at all. These are the cosmic voids. They are spheres of silence, bubbles of absolute dark. Some of them are hundreds of millions of light years across. If you were floating in the center of one of these voids, you would see almost nothing. The galaxies would be so far away that your sky would be perfectly black. You would be alone in a way that the human mind cannot comprehend. For a long time, we thought these voids were just empty. We thought they were passive. We thought they were just the gaps between the interesting stuff. But in gravity, absence is a force. Imagine a crowded room. If everyone is evenly spaced, the gravitational pull you feel from the people around you cancels out. You are pulled left, right, forward, backward. You stay still. Now, imagine that everyone on the left side of the room suddenly leaves. The room is now unbalanced. You still feel the pull from the people on the right, but there is no one on the left to pull you back. So, you start to move. You drift towards the right. To you, it feels like the empty space on the left is pushing you away. It feels like a repulsive force. This is what is happening to our galaxy. In 2017, the same team that mapped Laniakea discovered something hiding in the shadows. They looked at the direction the Milky Way is moving. We are racing towards the Great Attractor at immense speed. But when they calculated the mass of the Great Attractor, the math didn't add up. The Great Attractor is heavy, yes, but it is not heavy enough to explain our speed. It is not strong enough to be dragging us this fast. There was missing energy. So, they looked behind us. They looked in the opposite direction of our travel. And there, they found a region of space that was profoundly underdense, a region with almost no galaxies, a massive gaping hole in the universe. They called it the dipole repeller. It is a name that signifies a counterpart, a dipole, two poles, like a magnet. A magnet has a north pole and a south pole. One pulls, the other pushes. Our region of the universe works the same way. We are caught between a monster and a ghost. In front of us lies the Great Attractor, a dense concentration of matter that is pulling us in with its gravity. Behind us lies the dipole repeller, a vast void that is pushing us away with its emptiness. We are essentially falling from a high place to a low place. The dipole repeller is the top of the hill. It is the high ground. The Great Attractor is the valley. We are rolling down the hill. The discovery of the dipole repeller completed the picture of our motion. It explained why we are moving so fast. We are being worked on from both sides. The vacuum behind us is expelling us, and the mass ahead of us is welcoming us. This flow, this constant high-speed drift from the void to the cluster, is the dominant reality of our existence in the universe. Everything we know, every star we can see with the naked eye, is part of this migration. It gives a feeling of transience to the cosmos. We often think of the stars as eternal, fixed points. But they are more like birds in a flock migrating south for the winter. The flock keeps its shape, the birds stay together, but the entire formation is traveling across the sky. We are traveling away from the cold, empty solitude of the repeller, seeking the warmth and density of the attractor. But the story gets even larger, because as we refined our maps, as we looked past the Great Attractor, we saw something looming behind it. Remember, the Great Attractor itself is moving. It is not the final stop. It is being pulled too. Through the dust of the zone of avoidance, deeper into the universe, we found the Shapley supercluster. If the Great Attractor is a city, the Shapley supercluster is a nation. It is the largest concentration of matter in our nearby universe. It is over 650 million light-years away. It contains mass equivalent to tens of thousands of Milky Ways. The Shapley supercluster is a beast. Its gravity is so intense that it dominates the flow of our entire corner of the cosmos. It is the true giant pulling the strings. So the picture becomes a cascade. The dipole repeller pushes us towards the Great Attractor. The Great Attractor pulls us, but also falls towards the Shapley supercluster. Laniakea itself, our immeasurable heaven, is perhaps just a tributary flowing into the even larger basin of Shapley. We are small. We are so very small. But we are part of a majestic, coherent motion. Imagine the view from outside, far outside. If you could hover in the fourth dimension and look down at our universe, you would not see static dots. You would see a flow. You would see currents of light streaming through the dark. You would see the voids expanding, growing like bubbles, pushing the matter into thin, glowing filaments. You would see the galaxies rushing along these filaments like cars on a highway at night, all heading towards the great glowing cities of the superclusters. It is a circulation system, a cosmic bloodstream. And we are just one blood cell, rushing through a vein carried by the heartbeat of gravity. We are inside Laniakea. Laniakea is falling. The voids are opening. The clusters are tightening. The universe is breathing. In this vastness, does the human experience matter? Does it matter that we are rushing at 600 kilometers per second towards a destination we will never reach? Perhaps the comfort lies in the connection. We are not isolated. We are not lost in a random chaos. We are part of a structure. We have a place in the flow. We belong to the immeasurable heaven. As we drift towards the conclusion of our journey, we must ask, what happens at the end? Where does the river go? And what does this constant motion mean for the future of the Milky Way? We have looked at the space around us. Now, we must look at time. We must look at where this flow is taking us and what will happen when we get there. Rest now. Feel the motion. You are not sitting still. You are flying. You are part of the great migration of matter. The silent river of stars flows on, carrying us into the deep future. We have mapped the river. We have felt the push of the void and the pull of the attractors. We have given our home a name, Laniakea, the immeasurable heaven. It feels solid. It feels like we have finally found our footing in the quicksand of the cosmos. We belong to this great glowing web of 100,000 galaxies. But the universe has one final twist in store for us, a twist that turns this story from one of geography into one of time. There is a battle being fought in the silence of space. It is a silent, slow-motion tug-of-war between two titans. On one side, there is gravity. Gravity is the builder. It wants to pull things together. It wants to take the Milky Way, the Great Attractor, the Virgo cluster, and the Shapley supercluster and bind them into a single, tight ball. It wants unity. It creates the rivers we have been describing. It drives the flow. On the other side, there is dark energy. Dark energy is the destroyer. It is the mysterious force that lives in the empty space itself. It pushes. It wants to stretch the universe apart. It wants to expand the space between the galaxies until they are isolated and alone. For billions of years, these two forces have been wrestling. In the early universe, gravity was winning, the webs formed, the clusters grew, the rivers began to flow. But about 5 billion years ago, something changed. The universe grew large enough that dark energy began to take over. the expansion of the universe started to accelerate. The space between the superclusters began to stretch faster than gravity could pull them together. This changes the fate of Laniakea. We are rushing towards the great attractor. We are sliding down the filaments at millions of miles an hour. But the space we are traveling through is stretching. It is like running on a treadmill that is slowly speeding up. Calculations show that despite our incredible speed, we may never reach the center. Laniakea, our beautiful home, is a structure that is destined to die. It is not gravitationally bound. Unlike a solar system or a single galaxy, which gravity holds tight against the expansion, Laniakea is too large. It is too spread out. Gravity's grip is too weak across such vast distances to hold it together against the rising tide of dark energy. We are currently flowing together, yes, but in the deep future, the flow will stop. The filaments will snap. The river will run dry. Slowly, inevitably, the expansion will tear Laniakea apart. The great attractor will move away from us faster than we can fall towards it. The Shapley supercluster will recede into the darkness. The neighboring superclusters, Perseus, Pisces, Coma, will fade from view. We will be left with just our local family. The local group. The Milky Way and Andromeda will merge, creating a new, massive, elliptical galaxy. The dwarf galaxies will be consumed, and we will become a single island universe. The something bigger we are inside is temporary. It is a fleeting formation in the cosmic sky, like a cloud that gathers for an afternoon and then disperses in the wind. We are living in the golden age of structure. We are living in the brief window of time where we can see the web, where we can map the currents, where we can understand our connection to the Shapley supercluster and the great attractor. If we had been born 50 billion years later, we might never have known about Laniakea. The other galaxies would be too far away to see. The sky would be dark. We would think our galaxy was the entire universe. But we are here now. We are here to witness the flow. There is a profound beauty in this transience. It makes this moment, this epoch of the universe, precious. We are travelers on a bridge that is slowly lengthening, a bridge that will eventually break. But for now, the bridge holds. For now, the river flows. We are not just matter. We are the universe observing itself. We are the eyes of Laniakea. We are the way the cosmos understands its own grandeur before the darkness grows too deep. And even as the superclusters drift apart, the atoms that make us up, the stars that light our nights, remain. We are made of star stuff, and that stuff will endure, transforming, recycling, glowing in the dark for eons to come. Let us return, finally, to where we started. Let us return to the quiet place on Earth. The night air is cool. The sounds of the day have faded. You are looking up at the sky again. The stars are still there. The constellations are still pinned to the velvet dark. The illusion of stillness has returned. But now, your perception has changed. You know what lies behind the curtain. When you look at the band of the Milky Way, you no longer see just a splash of milk. You see a disk spinning and flying. You see the zone of avoidance, hiding the monster gravity of the great attractor. When you look at the darkness between the stars, you no longer see emptiness. You see the push of the voids. You feel the presence of the dipole repeller, the great ghost breathing down our necks, ushering us forward. You feel the motion. You are not just a person standing on a rock, you are a participant in a majestic procession. You are inside the solar system, inside the Milky Way, inside the local group, inside the Laniakea supercluster, falling through the universe towards a destination we can name but never touch. This knowledge does not make us small, it makes us vast. We often look for meaning in stability. We want things to last forever. We want stone foundations and eternal cities. But the universe tells us a different story. The universe tells us that everything is flow. Everything is a river. The stars are flowing, the galaxies are flowing, time is flowing. And there is a deep, resonant peace in accepting that flow. We do not need to anchor ourselves. We do not need to fight the current. We are being carried. We are being held by forces that have existed since the first moment of creation. There's something bigger. That we are inside is not just a physical structure. It is a relationship. It is the intricate, delicate balance between the pull of gravity and the push of the void. It is the dance of matter and energy. We are the children of this dance. So, as you rest tonight, let go of the need to be still. Let go of the need to be fixed. Close your eyes and let your mind drift upward, outward, expanding until it matches the scale of the sky. Feel the Earth rotating. Feel the Sun orbiting. Feel the galaxy falling. Drift with the current of Laniakea. Glide along the filaments of light. Let the great attractor pull you gently into the world of dreams. You are safe. You are home. You are exactly where you are supposed to be. We are drifting through the immeasurable heaven, together, in the dark, under the watchful eyes of 1 trillion stars, and that is enough. Good night. We have spoken of the visible universe. We have spoken of the stars, the galaxies, and the glowing filaments of Laniakea. We have described them as a river of light flowing through the dark. But there is a deeper truth to this river. The light we see is merely the foam on the surface of the ocean. The true ocean, the true substance of the universe, is invisible. To understand why the Milky Way is moving and why Laniakea exists at all, we must look at the ghost in the room. We must speak of dark matter. Imagine looking at a city at night from an airplane. You see strings of lights, highways, streets, buildings. You see the pattern of the city defined by these lights. But the lights do not hold the city together. The lights are not the road. The lights are not the steel beams inside the skyscrapers. The structure that supports the lights is dark. The universe is exactly the same. The galaxies we see, Andromeda, the Triangulum, the members of the Virgo cluster are just the streetlights. They are tracing the shape of something else. They are tracing the skeleton of the cosmos. This skeleton is made of dark matter. It is a mysterious substance that does not shine, does not reflect, and does not absorb light. It passes through you, through the earth, and through the stars as if they were not there. But it has gravity, immense, powerful gravity. In the beginning, long before the first star ignited, the universe was a sea of this invisible matter. As time passed, it began to clump together. It formed vast, invisible strands. It formed knots and webs. It built a scaffold in the darkness. It was into this invisible scaffold that the ordinary gas of the universe settled. The hydrogen and helium flowed into the valleys of dark matter like water flowing into a canyon. And there, cradled in the gravity of the invisible, the gas became dense enough to ignite. The stars turned on. The galaxies lit up. So, when we say we are inside Laniakea, we are really saying we are inside a massive concentration of dark matter. The filaments we see are just the places where the dark matter is densest. The Great Attractor is not just a collection of galaxies, it is a colossal hill of invisible mass, pulling everything towards it. This changes our feeling of movement. We are not just drifting through empty space, we are sliding along the invisible cables of a cosmic suspension bridge. We are caught in the grip of a ghost, and this ghost is everywhere. It is 5 times more abundant than the matter we can touch. If you removed all the stars and all the gas from Laniakea, the structure would still be there, defined by the dark matter. It is the bedrock of our reality. In this chapter of our deep rest, imagine that invisible structure. Imagine the dark web that holds the Milky Way in place. It is a comforting thought. We are not floating in a void. We are embedded in a substance. We are held by a mesh that pervades all of space. The flow we feel, the flow towards the Great Attractor, is the flow of dark matter. We are just riding the wake. As we drift further into this meditation, let us turn our attention to the messenger. How do we know any of this? How do we know about the Great Attractor hidden behind the dust of our own galaxy? How do we know about the flow of the river? We know because of light. Light is the oldest traveler in the universe. It is the silent narrator of cosmic history. Every photon of light that hits your eye or enters a telescope has a story. It has a birth, a journey, and a destination. Think of the light coming from the Shapley supercluster, that massive giant pulling on Laniakea from behind the curtain. That light left its source 650 million years ago. When that light began its journey, the Earth was a different planet. Complex life was just beginning to explode in the oceans. The land was barren. There were no trees. There were no dinosaurs. There was only the wind and the rock. For 650 million years, that light has been traveling. It has flown through the empty voids. It has passed through the halos of dark matter. It has dodged other galaxies. It has crossed the unimaginable gulf of the universe, never slowing down, never stopping, carrying the image of its home. And tonight, it arrives. It enters the lens of our telescopes. It strikes the sensor. And in that moment, it tells us, I am here. I am pulling you. This is the concept of look-back time. When we look out, we look back. We are not seeing the universe as it is now. We are seeing it as it was. We see Andromeda as it was 2 million years ago. We see the Virgo cluster as it was 50 million years ago. We see the Great Attractor as it was 200 million years ago. We are living in a time capsule. The sky is a mosaic of different eras, all stitched together into a single image. This means that the map of Laniakea we have drawn is a map of the past. The Laniakea of now, the Laniakea of this exact moment, is different. The galaxies have moved, the filaments have shifted, the expansion of the universe has pushed them further apart. We can never truly know the now of the universe. We are always chasing the ghosts of where things used to be. But there is a beauty in this delay. It connects us to the deep time of the cosmos. It allows us to communicate with the dead. The stars that have burned out millions of years ago still shine in our sky. The structures that have already been torn apart by dark energy still look whole to our eyes. We are watching a slow-motion movie of creation and destruction projected onto the dome of the night. So, as you visualize the flow of the galaxies, remember that you are visualizing a memory. You are seeing the universe dreaming of itself. The light is the memory. The gravity is the present. The expansion is the future. We exist at the intersection of these three things. We are the witnesses. Let this thought settle over you like a warm blanket. The light from the edge of Laniakea is raining down on Earth right now. It is passing through your roof. It is touching your skin. You are connected to the supercluster by these tiny, ancient packets of energy. You are not separate from the universe. You are bathed in it. You are soaking in the history of the cosmos. Rest in that light. Rest in the invisible arms of the dark matter. Rest in the flow. The universe is vast and old and strange, but it is also familiar. It is made of the same things you are. It follows the same rules. It is simply playing them out on a canvas that has no end. Drift now. Drift into the silence that lies between the photons. Drift into the peace of the immeasurable heaven.